guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I did like a sunset eye look. I used the Jaclyn Hill by Morphe, the Volume II palette. I just made like this super bright orange yellow look. So if you guys want to see how I accomplish this look, please keep watching. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, and if you could please just like the video and stay tuned to see how I got this look. Okay guys, I know this looks absolutely insane, but I wanted to do one eye first just so I could get an idea of what I wanted to play around with, what types of colors I wanted to use. I originally had this idea that I was going to do like a little pastel yellow, I don't know, spring moment, but then it turned out to be like a over the top look. But you know what, that's the fun of makeup. You sit down, you play with it, and honestly this eye look kind of gives me a lot of joy right now, so I think it's really fun. I got you guys zoomed in a little bit more so you could see exactly what I'm doing. I've already primed my eyes with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter eye primer, and I know in past videos I have mentioned that put this on, let it sit on your eye for about 10 minutes. Like I said, you can do other work to your face while you're waiting for it to dry. For today's look, I am taking the Jaclyn Hill Volume II palette. So the main star of the show is going to be this yellow, in my opinion. It's called No Joke. I am going to take a fluffy brush here. This is the Moda Pro BMX 430 crease brush. I am literally just going to really pack this all over my lid, pretty much everywhere. We're going to be dipping back into this color. I mean, I think I dipped back into it like over like 20 times. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but you know, this color, you put it down and you just keep blending it out and you just really work that in so you can get that nice transition shade going. This has a lot of fallout, so be careful. Make sure to always tap out your brush. And really focus that color on this inner portion here, because if you can see on this eye, that's where a lot of the transition of the yellow comes into play. This next step to get this really bright pop of orange, I'm actually going in with a concealer, and I'm going to do like a half cut crease. So I'm going to use my Colourpop No Filter Concealer. I am just going to take my Luxie 245 small shader brush. As you can see, it already has a little bit of orange on there. That is all right. I am dipping straight into that concealer, and we're just gonna cut the crease. If you've never done this before, it kind of seems a little intimidating, but using a concealer is good because it helps just like really pack that color on. But if you make a mistake, concealer's pretty forgiving. I usually just cut the crease a little bit above where my actual crease is, just so you can really see the color. And then make sure to just blend out the edges with your finger or a brush, just so you don't have any harsh lines. I'm going to go into the shade My Man, and taking that same brush, and we're just going to really pack this on the crease. This will take some time. Be patient with it, because you're not blending the color on, you are literally stamping the color on, making sure that color is super pigmented. Now, this is where you honestly have to be really patient. Just keep taking your yellow shade with that fluffy crease brush, and honestly, just keep going back and rebuilding the colors. I know it's super over the top and tedious, but in order to get a very blended look, you have to keep redipping into the same colors and building up your shades. In order to blend that orange and yellow shade, we're gonna go into this shade called Feelin' Myself. So it is a little bit less vibrant as the other color. So I am going to take a Moda Pro BMX 420 detail brush. So we're just gonna blend those two colors and, you know, just buff out that harsh line there. I wasn't really sure about this look until I started adding this color, and I was like, oh, okay. Now it's coming together. Since a little bit of that super neon orange shade got buffed away, just placing it back on there. Taking that same yellow shade and rebuffing it out. You guys are gonna want to kill me by the end of this video if I say the word yellow. Buff and blend one more time. But it's key, it's major. So I needed a little bit of depth in the outer corner of the eye, so I went in with the shade Hard On, and I just packed it on with that same brush that we used for that, you know, less intense yellow, orange shade. This time we're gonna just really place that right on the lash line and in the crease, right below the crease I should say. I just wanna really press that color on first before I worry about blending. I'm gonna pack a little bit of Living My Best right where we placed that other red shade, just a little bit more focused towards the lash line. This will really help give a little bit more depth. That first color was great because it helps as a blending color, but this will help give a little bit more darkness on the corners. Again, just stamping the color on there. I'm not worried about blending quite yet. You really want to make sure these colors honestly just fade so much together, so keep going back with your other colors and just re-blending them all together so you don't have any harsh lines. So I had nothing on this fluffy brush that we used in the beginning, but I'm just going in and cleaning around the edges just to ensure that we, you know, don't have any harsh lines at all. Honestly, I know that it gets super repetitive. And sometimes I get drove nuts too because I'm like, why isn't this like getting blended out a lot quicker? But I don't know, some shades you just really gotta work with. You really gotta just keep putting them on and blending them out. I'm gonna take a little itty bitty brush here. It is the Morphe E35 brush. It's literally so tiny, but it's perfect for detail work. And I am dipping back into that yellow shade, no joke. This is truly no joke, how long this takes. And now I'm just gonna really focus on getting that yellow built up in the inner corner. Now I'm just gonna line the lash line a little bit to get a little bit more depth on there, so when we put on our lashes they blend a little bit easier. So I am going in with the shade Crazy. I'm taking my Moda Pro BMX 498 line brush and just imitating where we would put some liner at, but I didn't want to use a black liner today because it gets kind of harsh. Oh my gosh, you guys, my camera completely just shut off. I have no idea what happened or when it stopped recording. I just went back on my footage and saw that my last step was just lining my upper lash line. I just want to tell you guys, I went in with the Colourpop BFF Cream Gel Liner in the shade Punch. I'll re-demonstrate this a little bit further. I lined the lower lash line here. I know like half of my lower lash line is already done, but I'll explain you guys exactly what I did. I first went in with the shade Crazy with that liner brush. I like to work in backwards. I know up top I do light to dark. On my lower lash line I do dark to light, so I don't know, that's just the way I've always done it. So I just stamped this super close to my lash line. And then I went in with the shade Heart On and buffed that along the lash line as well. Every time I'm buffing out a shadow on my lower lash line, I always bring it up to, you know, just the top here, just to blend all these shades together. And this is where I left off. I'm going in with the shade My Man. Same brush, make it easy for you guys. And we're just gonna place that in this vicinity here. We're just gonna make sure that we're following the same pattern that we did on the top, just mimicking on the bottom here. So at least you already have a guide on exactly what you're doing. And then taking the fluffy crease brush, dipping into the shade No Joke. And this is where we're just gonna blend the lower lash line with the top all together. Don't be afraid to go low with your shadows here and just bring this color all the way up to the outer edge here. Honestly guys, just please ignore my extremely dry skin under my eyes. I don't know what's going on. My skin has never been worse. I know everyone's like, oh, the quarantine, your skin will heal. Like, no, I feel like I've been extremely stressed and I've had so much acne. My skin is really dry. I mean, it's only like 30 something degrees outside, so I mean, that could be weather related, but I don't know. My skin has never been worse, so please don't judge me. I'm trying. I'm just trying. I am going to highlight my brow bone with the same highlighter that I used on my cheeks. I am going in with the Wet n Wild loose highlighter in the shade I'm So Lit. I showed this in my last video. One of you guys recommended it to me and I cannot get enough. So there's no really good like highlighting shade in that palette, so I am just going to spray my little tiny brush here and I'm just taking a little bit of that highlighter under the brow bone. Literally, you can see how pigmented that is. I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit with my finger there if it gets too intense. This highlighter is crazy. I don't understand why I've never heard about it before, but at least I know. Alrighty guys, we got the lashes on, and honestly that completes the look of this eye look. For lips, I went in with the Colourpop lippie pencil in the shade Frickin' Frack, and then all over my lips I used the shade Quickie, also by Colourpop, and then I went in with the iconic London lip plumping gloss in the shade Peekaboo, which I've never used, and this was really nice, super glossy and really plumping. My foundation routine, you guys can find that in the past videos. I will link them down below in the description box if you guys want to check that out. But other than that, honestly, that completes this look. I will continue using our palette and making other looks if you guys would be interested in seeing that. Let me know if you guys have any like suggestions on any videos I should film. I don't want to bore anyone, but please let me know if there is something that you do want to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure to like this video and also subscribe if you haven't already.